Students, today I am going to talk about extraction of copper. First, let us see what are the ores of the copper. Cu2S, Cu2O, this is my cuprite, copper glans, CuFeS2, copper pyrites, and you have CuCO3, CuOH twice, malachite. Most of the times copper is extracted from the sulfide ores. As you can see that there are 3 sulfide ores of the copper. So you are using most of the time sulfide ores. Therefore the concentration will be done by froth flotation process. Which method, students? We already know froth flotation process. So we will be able to remove mud, some other impurities which are present by the froth flotation process. We already know, we have discussed froth flotation by the use of pine oil. Now after this, before this, you know that crushing and grinding is done. That is a normal procedure. The big pieces are broken in and brought in the powdered form, and then we do the concentration. Then students, as you can see, the roasting has to be done. So when we will do the roasting, what is the result of the roasting? There are always that volatile impurities are going to be removed. If any moisture is there, that will be removed. And most of the time the volatile impurities are phosphorus, sulfur, arsenic or antimony. So they form volatile oxides. You know, phosphorus P4O10, sulfur SO2, arsenic As2O3, and similarly antimony. They can form oxides which can be removed, and the ore becomes more porous, so easy to treat. These are some of the things which we are doing, and usually you will see that in this, what we do, I hope you have noted this down, students. Silica is added as a flux. Silica, SiO2, is added as flux, because if iron is present as an impurity, iron oxide will react with silica to form FiSiO3, which is also solid. This is our solid. So this is slag, this is my flux. So we can remove such impurities, which is a normal procedure which we do, students. Let us see what is happening to the sulfide ore. If I am doing the roasting of Cu2S, then what will happen, students? Cu2S will react with oxygen gas. This is my solid, and the result of this is, you will see Cu. What will happen? The sulfur you will get Cu2O and sulfur dioxide gas. So this is a Cu2O. If I write 2 Cu2O, 2 and 2, 4. So how many oxygens? 4 copper, sulfur, 2 sulfur. So this is 2, this is 3 O2. So what is happening, students? We are getting oxide of the copper, Cu2O. Sulfur dioxide produced can be used for the manufacture of H2SO4. This I can use for the manufacture of H2SO4. Now what is happening? Cu2O can be easily reduced by coke or carbon. So the result of this will be, now here you are getting copper, students. What is the catch here? We have drawn Ellingham diagram. Let me tell you what is the thermodynamics of extraction of copper. We use Ellingham diagrams in order to see the reduction of copper. Copper is lying at the top in Ellingham diagram. So what is that? Let me see. What is the diagram? We have shown it. Let me draw it that way. I am removing this now, students. What we have? This is our delta F0 gives free energy of formation per mole of oxygen gas for the formation of the oxides. This is our temperature in Kelvin. We know the Ellingham diagram. I have given 2 lectures on Ellingham diagram, students. If you want to go, you can see that. So this is our carbon plus oxygen giving CO2, and what you find here, students, this and these 2 lines, students, here. So what is happening here? Carbon plus oxygen giving carbon monoxide gas, and here carbon monoxide plus oxygen giving CO2 gas. We have drawn the Ellingham diagram in our 2 lectures which we have given. Here you can see that this is a crossover point. Copper is lying, this is our copper. This is the copper. Copper is lying on the top of this. So 4Cu plus O2 gives 2Cu2O. This is the copper. Copper is, you can see that in the Ellingham diagram, copper for copper oxide, you can see, is above the carbon and carbon monoxide curves, lines. Therefore, around 500 to 600 Kelvin, 500 to 600, carbon can reduce copper of Cu2O as we are doing here. So 500 to 600 Kelvin, this process is delta G negative. Therefore, this can be used for the reduction of the copper oxide, because in the Ellingham diagram, we are already familiar with the Ellingham diagram curve, students, which we have indicated. So these values, the exact values you can get in the Ellingham diagram which we have drawn. Therefore, all I am trying to say that the copper is lying above the carbon monoxide and carbon graphs in the Ellingham diagram. Therefore, coke can be used easily. Coke is very cheap, easily available to reduce the copper oxide around 5 to 600 Kelvin temperature. Therefore, the thermodynamics is quite favorable. We are not going to use very high temperature for this, but the problem is, students, most of the times we are using the ore which is copper pyrites. Copper from copper pyrites, that is CuFeS2. Now what will happen? CuFeS2, when I will react with oxygen, students, sulfur has more affinity for oxygen than copper or iron. The result will be Cu2S Fes plus SO2. So here, if I put 2 Cu2S, then you have this is 2 and Cu2S, 1, 2 and 2. So how much oxygen is there? 4. So students, what we are getting here is sulfides of copper and iron. Now what will happen if I have this and oxygen is there? So you will say that Cu2O plus SO2. Again we can balance 2, so 2 and 3. So how many? Sulfur 2, so 2 SO2. So what we are finding is that you are getting oxide, and what will happen to Fes will also form FeO plus SO2. So if I put 2 here, so what you are getting? 2. Therefore, what we find, students, that here we are getting iron oxides and copper oxide, but iron is more reactive than copper. Iron has a more tendency for oxygen, more tendency to form FeO. Iron oxide is lying lower to the copper oxide in the Ellingham diagram. What we are saying, that iron is more active than copper. So what will happen? This if iron sulfide is there or iron sulfide is there, what it will do? If you have copper oxide, iron sulfide will react with this, and this oxygen will be taken by iron. So it will form iron oxide, and you will get Cu2S. Therefore, iron has a greater tendency to snatch oxygen from the copper. The result is FeO and Cu2S. Then what is going to happen? Let us see. You have got now FeS, Cu2S and FeO. FeO. While you are doing the roasting process, you have added SiO2 also. You have added SiO2 also as a flux, and this will react with FeO to form FeSiO3, which is our slag. So what is the result of this? Now in the furnace, in the blast furnace, what we will have? We will have copper Cu2S plus FeS and little of FeO. Most of it will form slag. And above this will float the slag. So for example, what I am trying to say, that in the blast furnace we have two layers. One is a layer which is of Cu2S plus FeS and very little of FeO. And on the top of this is a slag, students, which is nothing but FeSiO3. This slag can be removed, and what you are left with Cu2 and FeS. This is called copper matte. What we are left with, student? Copper matte. Now what will happen? You are now having copper matte, which contains mainly Cu2S plus FeS. And what we do now, another operation which I am calling as basimerization. Basimerization is also like roasting, and oxidation something like roasting, where we will blow a blast of air, hot air plus silica. We are oxidizing now Cu2S and FeS by using a blast of air in a Bessemer converter. There is a Bessemer converter which is used in order to oxidize this. What will be the result of this? You will get Cu2S plus O2 will give you what? Cu2O plus SO2. So if I am writing 2SO2, so this is 2Cu2O and this is 3O2. So you are getting copper oxide, and what will be the happen to iron sulfide? This is reacting with oxygen to form FeO plus SO2. So 2FeO, and you are having 2SO2. So oxygen, how many? 3. So you are getting Cu2O, FeO, and you also have Cu2S also present. What will it do? That FeO will react with SiO2 to form FeSiO3, which is your slag. This is my flux. And what is going to happen, students, in this Bessemer converter? What do you have now? You have Cu2O plus Cu2S. They will react themselves. This copper sulfide will reduce this copper oxide to form what? You are getting 4,6Cu plus SO2 gas. Now this is a copper which we have obtained, but this copper has got sulfur dioxide gas, and there will be bubbles of sulfur dioxide. There will be some holes in the copper. This is called blister copper. What we get is blister copper. Blister copper has got copper and SO2 gas. So due to this, there are blisters in the copper. Now this copper is about more than 90% pure, and we can do the electrolytic refining of copper to obtain pure copper. This refining we will explain in the next process of refining, student. Okay, I am ending up this lecture here. I hope, students, you have been able to understand the extraction of copper by the blast furnace and basmalization process.